Bye-bye, 73. Good luck, please. Security Yak, Security Yak. Radio Charlie 2, Whiskey. Radio Charlie 2, W. Security Yak, over.
Kilo 1 Golf Mike.
Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Radio Charlie 2, Whiskey. Thank you for your call, Steven. You'll fly by 9, no problem. My name is Gianna, over.
Hi, Gianna. And you got my name correct, Steve, over here in state of Vermont. You're about a 57, 5 and 7. And band looks like she's just getting going. Thanks for picking up the call. Radio Charlie 2 Whiskey, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, over.
Bye-bye, 73. Good luck, please. Security Yak, Radio Charlie 2 Whiskey, over. Security Yak, Radio Charlie 2 Whiskey. Radio Charlie 2 W. Security Yak, 7.
NZ, beaming North America, please, over.
Kilo 1 Golf Mike.
Yeah, the Kilo 1, just go again with the suffix, please, over.
Germany, Mexico. Germany, Mexico, over.
Yeah, G1, G-double-M. This is G0HNZ. Thanks for coming back to the call. The name is Ron, Radio Ontario, Norway. And we'll give you a proper signal report on the next over. We're located on the east coast of the UK in the seaside town of Skegness. So back to you. Kilo 1, Golf double M. This is G0HNZ, over.
Okay, Ron. Yeah, thanks for picking up the call. G0HNZ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Name is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo, Victor Echo. And QTH is over here in state of Vermont, up here in the northeast part of the U.S. And you're about a 57 coming in, and there is some QSB, but I think the band is just getting going there, Ron. So you're about the only one I hear on the band. So I figured I'd give you a call, and this is a new contact. So I appreciate you picking me up. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, over.
Yeah, K1 G-double-M. This is G0HNZ, all copied Steve from over there at Vermont. You're 5556. There is some QSB, but as you say, I think the band is just beginning to open up over the pond. We're running an old ICOM 751A that must be, well, I bought this in about 85, so that's 39-year-old. And we're driving a linear, and we're talking that up to about 300 watts, Steve. And the aerial is an homemade two-band Moxon. It's on the tower, but the tower's not wound up. It's about 25, 26 feet, Steve. So it works okay there. When I can get out, it's quite frosty today. And I'm on crutches, and the last thing I want is to be going up the garden to wind the tower up with a slippery path and me on crutches. So it's down, as I say, somewhere around about 26 feet, Steve. So back to you, K1G, this is G0HNZ, over.
Wow, congrats on the old radio. You must be very nice to your equipment because it's, boy, it sounds great. It's working great. Did you say, I'm on a new antenna, by the way. I suffered a lot of damage in the past week. We had two major storms with winds up to Category 2 hurricane here, and it tore things up pretty bad. So I took down the big boomers, no more, and I'm just running a ZS6BKW. And this is the first contact on this antenna on 12 meters. So again, I appreciate it. It seems to be working somewhat. I'm pushing about 500 watts, and through the BKW. Amp is a PW1 ICOM. I also have a 7300. Love that little radio. And I'm on a Expert SDR2 DX right now. I had a question. Did you say you were running a two-band or a two-element Moxon? I thought you said two-band Moxon. Over?
Well, it's both correct, Steve, yeah. It is a two-band. Moxons are very, very difficult to multi-band without detuning some of the elements. You can't multi-band on harmonics, so I built this 17 and 12. So it is two-element, like the standard Moxon, the driven and the reflector, but it is two-band, 17 and 12, Steve, over.
Okay, wow. That is pretty neat. I'm a big Moxon fan. That's why my ears perked up. So you got 17. So I take it you have individual elements for 17 and 12. You can confirm that. And I thought about building one for 15 because this antenna is not too good on 15 meters. And I love 15 meters. So anyways, I'm curious. So if it's a dual band, and if you're running two separate sets of elements for each band, how did you figure out how to get that to work? My question really should be: are there pairs of bands that are easy to get functioning without too much coupling and interaction? Because I know the Moxons generally they don't function like a hex beam, right? A Moxon is generally you build a Moxon for one band, and if you want another band, you build another Moxon, right? So I was curious if you have two, if there's a method to the madness there. So 17 and 12 work together. Could you do like a 15 and 10 or something like that? Go ahead.
Yeah, fine, all copies. Steve, a bit of QSB, but it got the gist of the question. Essentially, yes, the answer is that it is two sets of wire rounds. So there's the reflector-driven element cut for 17 meters to the using all the necessary insulators in between, and there's the wire element cut for 12 meters, again with the
test.
spacing
Make sure I'm not
insulators
clipping here.
in between. I'm a great fan of feeding balanced antennas with 72 ohm twin feeder. Now, on resonance, the Moxon is somewhere around about 50 ohm, and 72 ohm twin feeder isn't that far away in reality. And meter for meter, the loss on 72 ohm twin is more cheaper per meter than top end coaxial, 50 ohm coaxial cable. So the balun is actually sitting here at the back of the radio. It's a Polestar 3kW 1-to-1 balun. That then feeds approximately 25 meters of 72 ohm twin. When it comes onto the tower, I've got a piece of plastic tubing that is bracketed onto the tower and extends, I'm just looking now, probably for about 3 foot out. So the driven element connector is connected to and supported by the plastic tubing, as is the 17 meter element, driven element. Then what I do, Steve, is I connect the 72-ohm twin feeder to the 12-meter element, driven element. And then looking at it, there's about a foot difference between the 12-meter driven element and the 17-meter.
Just about on the noise floor.
And then I just use another piece, about a foot, about 12 inch, of 72-ohm twin as a patch lead in between. So I've got essentially around 25 meters up the tower onto the 12-meter element, then a patch lead from the 12-meter element to the 17-meter element, Stephen.
Okay, I got it all, and the band just fell apart. I'm not sure if you're hearing me, Ron, but I'm going to go ahead and clear out because you're just off the noise floor. It just fell out. If you can copy me, I'll say, I got it all. Thank you for the description. Say 7-3 and good DX. And I appreciate you picking up the call. Very, very fascinating. I'm going to do some research on that because it works. G0HNZ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Over.
Yeah, we've almost lost you there, Steve. You've dropped almost out, so I think hopefully you got most of the information. If you look on QRZ, you'll see the tower at the end of the garden. And you'll see our support from us, and I've got fiberglass spreaders that's supported with guy ropes from the top. I've also got a weather vane on the top as well. I'll just put it back to you, Steve, to see if you copied the info okay. But it almost dropped completely out, Steve.
Roger. Yep, you're almost gone, Ron. You're almost gone. Right at the noise floor. But I got it all. QSL. We'll see you later. 7-3. I got you on the cluster, and maybe things will open up a little bit better coming up shortly. G0HNZ, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. 7-3. Catch you soon. Boy, that went in the crapper. Wow. That's pretty cool, though.
Thanks for your 5x5 in the Bahamas.
Thanks for the 5 and 5, Kev. You are likewise the same. 5 and 5 as well in the eastern part of Denmark, over.
Thank you. Great signal, by the way. 73. QRZ, Whiskey 1, Delta, Echo, Delta, Stroke, Charlie 6 Alpha.
I wanted to take Orion 2. I think I used the little ICOM 70.
Tango Radio?
Oscar Echo 8, Ontario Echo 8, Tango Radio.
Oscar Echo number 8, Tango Radio, is that correct?
Yeah, always. Bye for now.
You are set on 12. This is LA4 UOA, Lima Alpha 4, United Ocean America. Yeah, I did hear an Italian station on the back of my antenna. My antenna beaming North America, Giovanni. Due signal arriva in the back of my antenna. 5-5, Roger. Yeah, QSL. Yeah, that is my antenna beaming 100 grad northwest. Italy, direction is 150. So you're on the back of antenna, but no problem. Thank you for report 5829.
Excuse me.
73. Grazie mille. 73. Ciao. Yeah, Happy New Year. CQDX, CQ calling DX. That was CQ on 12. CQ 12, CQ on 12 meter, Lima Alpha 4, United Ocean America.
Kilowatt 1 Gulf Mike.
Hello, Steve. K1GMM. Nice to hear you again. Where have you been hiding? Haven't heard you for a while, oh boy.
What's going on, Tor? Yeah, happy 2024, and hope you've been well. And I'm around. I'm around, but I'm usually in here at this time in the morning, and then I have to leave for the day. So nice to hear you. And I'll give you a report on the next go, and I will also get you on the cluster. And I was so happy to hear you because now we've got 12 meters, and all we need is 15 meters, and I got a clean sweep from 20 and up. So score on that one. Anyways, hope you're doing well, Tor. LA4 UOA K1GMM, Southwest Vermont.
Yeah, condition hasn't quite opened up yet between you and I. You're 5 and 5 to 7 at the best there, Steve. And it should be easy to get to make a contact on the 15 as well. That should be easy. 10 meter has been extremely good lately. So, but it isn't quite open. It's better a little bit later, a couple hours later, but then you're probably not active, Steve. Beautiful day here in Norway, sunny, but too much snow, more than 4 feet snow on the ground, and we're expecting rain on Sunday. So you can imagine how that's going to be causing a lot of trouble on the roads, boy.
Wow. Yeah, that's a mess. That's a mess. And I don't know if you're going to get a lot of flooding, how hard it's going to rain, but that seems to be a very common thread here. Not much snow, only about 4 inches. 4 inches on the ground. It's very unusual. We've dodged some major bullets, and you are about the same, Tor. Anywhere from 5 in sharp QSB, anywhere from 5.5, 5.6 to 5.7. Got 2 major storms in the past week. Suffered catastrophic damage, had hurricane force winds, like a Category 2 hurricane, anywhere from 80 to 100 miles an hour, and tore stuff up. So I'm down to just one antenna for 40 meters and up, and it's a ZS6BKW, which is what I'm on right now, pushing about 500 watts, and seems to work really well on 10, 40, 20, 17, 12, and 10. 10 meters, it's gangbusters, so I've been having a lot of fun on 10 in the mornings. I don't want to hold it too long because I know the Cub, you're probably struggling. Not much gain going in your direction with this antenna. LA4 UOA K1GMM, over.
Yes, there is a big QRM. Somebody beside us is splattering all over the place, so it's a little difficult. Yeah, we have had much stormy weather here, one storm after the other, and I'm glad I finally have a hazer, a homemade tower and a hazer, so I can get things down and secure it to ground level. So the last storm we had was also close to 100 miles an hour wind. So I lost a tree that had held up the 80-meter loop. That tree blew down, and one corner of my 80-meter loop is resting on the barn roof now. So I have to get it up again. But I'm not very active on the lower band. Steve, best 73s, and Happy New Year. Hope to catch you again, maybe on 15 one day. Kilo 1 Golf Mike LA4 UOA here in South Norway. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Tor. Thank you. 7-3. We'll catch you soon. K1 GMM.
Your audio is fantastic, by the way. Very nice modulation. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yours too. I know you're not on you're on a different rig. I was listening. I think you're on a Tentec. It's perfect. So I enjoy listening to you. We'll see you soon. K1 GMM.
Yeah, it's the Tentec Orion 2. Actually, I have had some problem with my 7300 together with the ACOM 2008. Therefore, I hook up the I use now the Orion 2. There hasn't come a single message with this radio. I think there is some power overshoot problem on the 7300. And the ACOM 2000A is very sensitive. It's automatic amp. But I heard others have had some issues with the 7300 together with ACOM automatic amps. The manual amps, they don't notice too much of it, but we'll see. I've been using this, the Orion 2 since the 4th of this month. So we will continue a few more weeks and see what happens. Knock on wood, nothing have happened so far with this radio. It seems like the ACOM likes the Orion 2 high. 73 Steve, K1GMM, LA4UOA. Bye-bye.
Okay, really quick, and don't even come back to this. I have the exact same issue, Tor. My 7300 has tremendous overshoot. I don't even run it on the PW1 because I'm afraid to. If I hit that with modulation and under standard modulation on, let's say, it doesn't matter what band, and I hit it, it will, if the amp is set up to, let's say, push 400 watts, I've seen at least 2 times the power on overshoot. So on a 1 kilowatt amp, if I'm running 600-700 watts, that thing's going to overshoot almost to legal limit. And that's really dangerous on a solid state amp. I've run the AL80A here. I have one of those, the old valve amp. It's very tolerant. You can abuse those things. And this still has the original tube in it. And I ran the 7300. I've got thousands of hours on that AL80A. Never have an issue, even with the overshoot. But I don't push much power. So if I'm pushing enough power to give me 300-400 watts out, I'll see easily 700, 750 on an overshoot. But the amp doesn't care. On the PW1, no way. These solid state amps, I don't care what kind of protection you got them. The PW1s, I think they're very robust, but from what I understand, if you overdrive them, you'll take the power supply. You won't necessarily hurt the finals, but you'll take the power supply, which would really suck. So anyways, we'll see you later. 7-3, LA4UOA, K1GMM. I'm clear.
Yeah, Steve, on that. Somebody started calling before I said QRZ. I did lose a little bit of your last over, but yeah, I've been looking at the Yaesu FTDX 101D. I suppose that's going to be my next radio, but I have so many other hobbies. I'm not sure if I will spend that much money, but in the meantime, I'm going to use the Tentec Orion 2. But, it's difficult to get parts. The Orion, if you get problem with the Tentec, there's no more activity at the Tentec factory, and I heard some rumors that it was difficult to get parts. So, I don't know. We will see what happens. I used this Orion now since the 4th of this month, as I mentioned earlier. So I will continue with it and see. If nothing happens, I probably just sell the 7300 and maybe go for a 101D. But we'll see. Steve, a lot of noise now, a lot of QRM. So best 73, have a good day. K1GMM, LA4UOA. Station, stand by. Let us continue. Let me hear what he tried to tell me. So stop calling. K1 GMM, best 73, over.
Okay, 7.3, and I'm looking at the 101 too. It is a sweet rig. I know I've got friends that have them. They're complicated, but they're incredibly powerful. That VC tune is a remarkable thing, and it's absolutely brilliant that they put that into a radio. Anybody who's run a magnetic loop knows what that can do. It's amazing. So, yeah, I've been thinking about that one, too. 7.3, I got to get out of here and let you go. Go get them. LA4UOA, K1 GMM. Pleasure as always.
Yeah, Roger, Steve. Yeah, best 73s and good luck. And now, QRZ12, Lima Alpha 4, United Ocean America. LA4UOA, CQDX, over.
That was super fun. That's pretty scary, though. The freaking overshoot on the 7300 is horrid. It makes me very nervous. I don't run it on the solid state amp, but anyways, back with some more.
Yankee 5 Alpha, Lima Yankee 5 America.
Kilowatt 1 Gulf Mike.
Kilo 1 Golf Mike 59. Handle is John. Good morning.
Hey, good afternoon, John. Name is Steve over here in Vermont. We've worked many times, but nice to get you on 10 meters. And I think all we need is 10 and 12 and 15 maybe. So you're about a 57, 5 and 7 coming into state of Vermont. Over.
5-7 Victor Tango Vermont. Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Thanks for contact. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. 7-3, K1 GMM.
Kilo Delta 9 Whiskey Echo Sierra 5-9. Handle is John. Good morning.
I wasn't 5-9 in there. I know I wasn't. He's a big station.
Okay, Chicago area. Thanks for contact. Kilo Delta 9 Whiskey Echo Sierra. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you. From Lima Yankee 5 Alpha. Lima Yankee 5 Alpha. Lima Yankee 5 Alpha. Secure tax. Italy Zulu 5 Delta Mike Charlie.
Roger, Mara, Johnny. Thanks for the info. Thanks for the contact. 73. Kilo Delta 2 Tango Delta Bravo. Okay, 2 Sugar Alpha India. 73. CQ 10. Ontario Kilo 2 Sierra Alpha Italy. Ontario Kilo 2 Sugar Alpha Italy. CQ and listening.
Kilowatt 1 Golf Mike. Kilo 1 Golf Mike.
And Ontario Kilo 2 Sierra Alpha Italy. CQ and listening.
Kilowatt 1 Germany Mike.
Kilowatt 1 again.
Kilo 1 Germany Mexico. Germany Mexico. Over.
1 Gulf Mexico again.
Gulf Mexico. Gulf Mexico. Over.
K1 Golf Mike. Okay, 2 Sugar Alpha Italy. Good afternoon, Steve. Your report 5 and 858. My name is Henrik. Hotel Echo November Radio Yankee Kilo. Located northeastern part Czech Republic. K1 Golf Mike. Okay, 2 Sugar Alpha Italy.
OK2SAI, Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike. Thank you, Henrik. Name is Steve. Steve, Sierra Tango, Echo, Victor, Echo. QTH is Vermont, Northeast U.S., and you are 5 and 7, 57 into Vermont. Over.
Roger. Steve, thanks for the 5 and 7. I'm using 1 kW in the 4-element monoband Yagi. Over.
QSL. Working conditions this side. We're pushing about 400 watts, 400, and the antenna is a ZS6BKW. Thank you, Henrik. Thanks for the new band. We did work on 20, and appreciate you picking up the call. 7-3, OK2SAI, K1 GMM. Over.
Roger, Steve. Thanks for the contact. 73. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
CQ10, Ontario, Kilo 2, Sierra Alpha, Italy. OK2, Sugar Alpha, Italy. CQ and listening.
Детей хочется. Сегодня вот сегодня ездил и вернулся. Вот у меня тут
So that is not good. But I can live with this -5, but not more. Not more.
very much for calling.
5 Alliance, name is Valery in Moscow, over.
To the broadcaster, and the antenna is an OptiBeam, the 6-element tri-band Moxon version. Go ahead. Roger. You're doing a good job, Albert. Thank you for the QSO, and I wish you all the best. 73, Kilo 2, Alpha November Zulu, Papa Charlie 4, Delta X-ray. 73. Bye-bye. QSS.
Kilowatt 1 Golf Mike.
The station ending Sierra November Oscar. Kilo 3 Sierra November Oscar. Good morning, Mike. Doing a fine job. 59 plus 10 dB here, east side of the Netherlands, near the German border. Go ahead. Roger. Thank you for the 59 plus 10 and the compliments on the audio. I put you in the log. I think it was the first time we met on the frequency. So, I wish you all the best, and thank you for the QSO. 73, Kilo 3, Sierra November Oscar, Papa Charlie 4, Delta X-ray. Roger, QRZ.
Kilowatt 1 Golf Mike.
Kilo Delta 9, Victor Charlie Whiskey. Good morning, sir. Gerald. You're doing 59 here at the east side of the Netherlands. Go ahead. Roger. Thank you for the 59 and compliments on the audio, and I wish you all the best, and I hope you enjoy your day. Kilo Delta 9, Victor Charlie Whiskey, Papa Charlie 4, Delta X-ray 73. Roger, Roger. QRZ, Papa Charlie 4, Delta X-ray.
Kilowatt 1, Golf Mike Mike.
Station ending Golf Mike Mike.
Kilo 1, Golf Mike Mike, 57, 5 and 7 Vermont, over.
Roger, Roger. Kilo 1, Golf Mike Mike. Yeah, you're doing a 5x7, 5x8 here at the moment, and yeah, nothing to miss here. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thanks for picking up the call, and thanks for the report. Name is Steve, Sierra Tango, Echo, Victor Echo, up over here in Northeast U.S. PC4DX, K1GMM.
Roger, Roger. Thank you for the QSO. K1GMM, Papa Charlie 4, Delta X-ray. CQ10, 10 meters, QRZ, Papa Charlie 4, Delta X-ray. Radio November 5, Radio Kilo November. Robert, good afternoon. You're doing a 5x7, 5x9 at the moment. It's going a little bit up and down, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
Italy, Bridge Japan, Alpha Yankee. Good afternoon, my friend Sergio. I see on report 59. My name is Roman. Do you copy?
I'm going to get out of here pretty soon. I like this antenna on 10 meters. Me likey. Okay. That's it for now.
I suppose. This is Oscar Hotel, so unit from Italy. You're coming 5-9 here in Finland, over.
Okay, Oscar Hotel 4, Uniform India, Kilo 1, Golf Mike Mike, Kilo 1, Golf Mike Mike. Hey, Mark, name is Steve, Sierra Tango Echo, Victor Echo, State of Vermont. And you're coming in very sharp QSB, but about a 57, 5 and 7, over.
Okay, very good, Steve. Thank you for 5 and 7. There's also some QSP. You are coming on the top, you are coming 5-9, but a little bit QSP also here as well. And nice to catch you from Vermont. And I'm here located about 100 miles west from Helsinki, our capital, near the town of Salo, Sierra Alpha Lima Oscar. Sierra Alpha Lima Oscar is the nearest town here. I'm running about 600 watts in the OptiBeam antenna up about 24 meters from ground level. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Mike, this is Oscar Hotel for Uniform Italy.
Okay, QSO, all copied there, Mark. No problem, in the clear. And working conditions this side, we're pushing about 500 through a ZS6BKW. Suffered catastrophic damage in the past week from 2 major storms with incredibly high winds. So I'm down to basically just one antenna for 40 and up. So I'm going to leave this here. The big arrays, I've pretty much took them down. One of them was damaged, and I'm not going to repair it. Anyways, 7-3. We'll catch you later. Have a great day and good DX. And I appreciate you picking up the call. OH4UI K1GMM. Over.
Okay, Steve. Well, I had the same problems here. I just repaired my OptiBeam antenna before the winter came. And there was some damages coming from ice and snow from the previous winter.
but now it has been repaired and it's functioning well, but it was quite a mess. I also moved my radio station from the other end of my house to the another end, so all the cables and so on had to be put again and so on. But now it's okay and working, but I know the feeling when the antenna is not all well high. Thank you so much, Steve. Best 73 greetings from Finland, from the middle of the snow. It has been snowing all the day here today, and it's all white. If you look from the through the window, so it's all but white everywhere. So 73, thank you so much. Kilo 1 Golf Mike Oscar Hotel for Uniform Italy.
Okay, you stay warm over there, Mark. We're trying to do it over here. It's cold. Not much snow, though. Picked up about 4 inches yesterday, but that's about it. Kind of unusual. We should be under easily 2 feet of snow by now. 7-3, have a great day. And I'll get you on the cluster here. OH4UI, thank you so much. K1GMM. See you soon.
Okay, see you. Best 73, all the best to you and your family, and greetings from Finland.
In Texas area, and that's all they do is complain about the 30s and 40s weather. I have to remind them that they escaped the single and teens digits on their for their trip down there, which is what we're getting here. We've got about 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground, our very first significant snowfall of the year, and the temperature being what it is, it seems to be sticking around pretty well right now. KG80K.
Yeah, that's to be honest with you, Roy, that's about all we have. There's not much. Is it going to warm up out there? I know it's a nice day today. I think they're calling for about 33, so that is a major improvement. And I think that's going to hold throughout the week. And actually, I think it's going to be in the, low 40s or something like that. Over.
Wow. Yes, it is. I'm looking at 40s and 50s throughout the rest of the week, but they're calling for rain, significantly high percentage chance of rain through Thursday. But yeah, highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s and 40s. So this must be our pre-spring fling here in Central Ohio.
Yeah, I got you about peaking of 5.9. No problem. There's a lot of QSB, though. I'm looking at the numbers. The numbers really aren't bad. So I did a sweep across the bands, and they're not too good. So maybe there's just not a lot of people on. Are you aware of anything happening space weather-wise? I was just curious. Roy, go ahead.
Just that we're getting hit by some filaments from the sun. Auroras were pretty far south last night, and they're expecting more tonight. I'm not a big watch the numbers kind of a guy, but 10 meters has been open this morning, and there's a couple pileups, and I think everybody from 40 meters on north was on 10 meters trying to get somebody somewhere. It was a mess.
K1GMM, really? Yeah, I just checked. I just came downstairs, radio's running, and I just checked went through the bands, and like 10 meters right now is a ghost town. I was like, what the heck? I had to look to see if I was on the right band with the amplifier and the tuner, and I was. So I don't know what happened. At least here, it's abysmal. I was just on 40, threw out a few calls on 40, and I only see about 3 signals on 40, and they aren't that strong. So maybe that's what's doing it. Anyways, what are you running that side, Roy? Go ahead.
The rig here is Yaesu FTDX 3000. barefoot into an inverted V G5RV about 40 feet at the apex. Your signals come up to about 10 over 9. And QSL, my 40 meters is dead. I haven't been back to 10 meters to see what's happening, but I see a couple signals here on 17. Yours is by far the strongest and the most consistent strong signal that I've heard all day, KG80K.
Wow, must be a good path to you guys. Seems short because we're not that far apart, you know. I don't know. FTDX 3000. I got two friends, one in the UK, M6ENS, and my friend Glenn in Alabama I was just talking about. He just picked up a 3000. Great radio. I've been thinking about, I just sold the Anon, so I've been thinking about picking up something else, and I'd love to get my hands on a 3000. Great front ends on those radios. How long have you had it, and are you probably pretty happy with it? Over?
I'm very happy with it. I've had it since spring of last year, so I haven't had it quite a year yet. I enjoy HF quite a bit. I'm on 40, 20, and 17 meters almost all the time in the base and in the mobile, and haven't had any issues with it. The only thing I'm less than impressed with is the spectrum scope on it. It's just so small. I'm coming. I upgraded from ICOM Pro 56 Pro 2, and it had quite a large real-time display on it. This one lags a little bit time-wise, and it's really pretty small. But other than that, I think it's a superior radio.
Yeah, I was fascinated. My friend Dave over in the UK did some videos on the noise reduction and what is it, the contour adjustment and stuff. Boy, you can reel that thing in, man. Sounds really good. Really good. And by the way, yeah, the G5RV, by the way, I'm on a new antenna, suffered catastrophic damage over a week ago. We had two big thumpers come through here with hurricane force winds and category 2 hurricane force winds. They were like freaking 80 to 100 miles an hour. And it got pretty ugly. And so the arrays are no more. I'm just down to a ZS6BKW. So I just put that up last week ago now. So I think this may be the first contact on 17 meters with this thing. And I'm noticing my SWR is really, it's not stable. It's having a hard time locking it down, but I'm pushing about 250 watts just because of that. And so, yeah, the I guess, what do they call it? A modified G5 or whatever. And on 10 meters, it works really, really well. 40 meters is crack-a-lack. 20 is good. 15 is garbage, even though it will tune, but it's not. And I guess they don't work on 15 that well anyways, from what I heard. So that inverted V, what's the length on which G5 RV is it? It's not the big dog, is it? The 204? Go ahead.
Negative. It's an MFJ piece. It's a 40 meter G5 RV. I do well. I do not do well on 15 meters either. I do well on 40. I can tune a very small portion of 80 meters, which fortunately is 3.88. I like to listen to the AM guys and join in with them every once in a while. So I'm glad it will tune to that portion of the band, but it won't tune any farther lower than that. Yeah, it's a substantial antenna. I'm in an upstairs apartment. I'm in a downtown location. My building is 125 feet long and 25 feet wide. So the apex is right in the middle of the building, and it extends to the front, and the other leg is to the rear. And I think they're about between 95 and 100 feet, I believe.
K1GMM. Man, you don't blow up anybody's TV with that thing, do you? That's quite a feat to be in an apartment and run an antenna like that. Most people are kind of screwed. Over.
It does affect my wife's touch lamp in front, and it affects one of our electric recliners. I've never, knock on wood, had a complaint from the neighbors. Fortunately, I don't think that they would complain even if I did mess with anything of theirs. It just doesn't seem to bother them, but I do see effects from it. 10 meters gets into my computer back here in my shack. But other than that, it's really a pretty stable antenna, KG80K.
Wow. You're living the dream as far as an apartment goes. You do realize that, don't you? Over?
Well, I cheat. I own the building. My business is downstairs, and I live upstairs. So as far as the apartment is concerned, I'm able to get away with just about anything that I want to try that doesn't really affect the street traffic. But yeah, I can get away with quite a bit. KG80K.
K1GMM. Well, that explains it. I remember I had a friend, this was back in 2016, I think. He's always been in apartments. He doesn't own them, but he's subject to the apartment Nazis, No antennas. We don't want to see any antennas out. So I got to his house one day. This is kind of funny. And it showed up as his apartment. And we went out on the back deck, and I look, and here's this broomstick handle, right, on the back deck. And it's got all this wire, the whole broomstick handle, each side. Had a feed point in the center, coax hanging off it. It was all like a big, one massive coil of wire. I said, what the heck is that? He says, oh, that's my 20-meter antenna. And I said, what? He says, yeah. He said, I work like PSK and all kinds of stuff on this thing. I said, you got to be kidding. He says, oh, yeah, it actually works. So, that's an option for an apartment, I guess. Probably not very efficient, but it did work, and it was resonant. Over.
Yeah, QSL. I've seen quite a bit of stealth types of antennas in the past. I am working. I bought an AEA magnetic loop off of QRZ not too long ago, and it was badly damaged. So I've been spending my winter rebuilding it and repairing it. But I'm quite impressed with the Magloop for something that takes up 3 square feet of floor space. They do an amazing job.
Oh, I can't believe you said that. I am a Magloop freak. I love Magloops. I use built several of them, all high power. One of them, the portable one I use, is a modular, what I call a modular. It's runs on LMR 400 coax. Covers currently it does 20 and 40 meters. I jump a second loop onto it. So it's kind of modular, and that works surprisingly well. And I had a couple others that were built with, I think it's 3/4 inch HVAC, 3/4 inch HVAC tubing, or it's 5/8, one or the other. That real soft copper? Bought a big pancake coil of it. That was gangbusters. Ran that on 20 and 40. And I could even use it on 80 meters on a 3-turn, but the spacing wasn't right. So I'd keep, like on FTA, I could throw, good Lord, 400 watts at that thing. But under modulation, I think what happened was, because the spacing was too tight, Carrier on a steady carrier worked great, but you hit it with modulation and all hell would break loose. I think a friend of mine told me it's most likely the magnetic field was collapsing. Something was happening there. So spacing was too tight. It was only like 4 inches. He's like, no, you can't do that. You can't. That's a little too tight on that wavelength. Yeah. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, this was really cool. I got a video up of this. I built a 30-meter magnetic loop out of, I think it's 8-inch or 10-inch aluminum flashing. And that ran a 25 kilovolt cap. And man, dude, I'll tell you what, I could throw some snot into that thing on like FT8 and stuff like that. And that was a lot of fun. And that worked insanely well. Over.
QSL. Yeah, I've not really taken the time to experiment with magnetic loops yet. I have a friend in Cincinnati that is really big into that, and we get together periodically and mess with tubing benders and stuff like that. But this one, I had one several years ago. Well, I've had several years ago, and buy them, play with them, and sell them, and people see how well they work and offer me unreasonable amounts of money for them, and I feel obligated to let them have them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this one on the air, and especially during. I'm not going to have it for Winterfield Day this weekend, but at least for camping season, I'll be back on the air with the Magloop KG80K.
K1GMM. That is. Now, what is, like, if you go camping with it, what are the primary loops? What do they call those? You have the primary and the coupling. Does it run a coupling loop on it? 2 questions. So does it run a coupling loop, and what's that made out of? And the big loops, the primaries, are those like made out of coax or something else? Go ahead.
Well, the primary loop is a flat 2-inch wide piece of aircraft aluminum, the gold tone aluminum, and it's pretty flexible, but the fiberglass centerpiece holds it stout. The small loop, the feeder loop, is RG58 coax, and it's inside of the fiberglass holder, the housing. So it's a single unit. It's 3 feet in diameter. I just pop it onto a couple fiberglass poles and stick it into a patio umbrella stand and guy it down at about 8 foot tall off the ground so no one whacks their bean on it, and it's good to go.
K1GMM, don't know if I signed. So here's a question for you, because this is something I haven't played with. Do you find, I've done a lot of reading about this, and looks like the jury's a little bit out. It's a little weird, like the height, because they tend to, I've read about guys, they put, like, if it's a permanent install, right, they'll take like chicken wire and they'll put like a layer of chicken wire down underneath it. Have you messed with the height? Have you noticed, like, whether you got it on a 3-foot stand or 6 or 10 feet, does it really matter with that antenna? Go ahead.
It does not matter, the height. I have read several articles and reports that having a ground reflective surface underneath of it is a waste of time. I have never had it low enough where anybody could actually run into it. The last thing I want to do is have someone touch it while I'm transmitting, and well, the lawsuits and the damage, well, them being hurt too, of course, is something I don't want to have happen. So it's always at least 8 feet off the ground when I operate it. I have operated vertical and horizontal. When I operate vertical, I do have occasion locally of must be a power transformer or a fuse relay in the alley behind me. They have high tension lines back there, and it gets very noisy sometimes depending on the humidity. If I turn this antenna adjacent to that noise, the noise goes away. Whereas all of my other antennas, it's substantial, and I can get an S8 noise level at times. So as far as directivity in the vertical direction, vertical configuration, it is, it is directional in two directions. Horizontal, it just always does well. I've never had it above 8 feet, so I really can't address more height, but I just make sure that there's no obstacles that can bump into it. KG80K with K1 GMM.
Okay. Well, that's interesting what you said about the not making any difference. So I won't waste my time with that. Never did. I always thought that was a bunch of hooey, putting down some type of ground plane underneath it, whatever it may be. Are you familiar, because you mentioned something there that I did play with a little bit, but I kind of walked away from it. But after looking at this guy's testing and data, it was really fascinating. Are you familiar with Richard Fuzinski? He does the helically wound magnetic loops. You know who that is?
No, it does not ring a bell.
Okay. He holds like patents and stuff on these things. They're really interesting. They're very, very small. I'm not going to go into the construction end, but what you said back there about vertically running it in the vertical plane or the horizontal plane, he's found that like he has tilting and rotational motor drives on these antennas. And so he's able to tilt it from being perfectly upright in the vertical plane over to like 45 degrees or something like that. Not all the way over, but he's found that it helps, especially like sometimes the direction of the antenna along with the tilt will affect how it performs in the signal strength on like ground wave propagation. So it acts a little different. That's what I was wondering if you've played with. I haven't played with it extensively because the loops that I run I just never went that far down the road. But he said at times it makes a huge difference to be able to lay that over, put like a 45 degree tilt on it. Go ahead.
QSL, changing the propagation by changing the polarization. I can see that. I have experienced that. The broad side of the loop is dead. The loop itself is the direction of the loop. And if it's vertically and you turn it 45 degrees away from, 90 degrees away from a noise source, it goes away. So I do know that changing the attitude and direction of the antenna will change propagation for you.
Okay, that's interesting. See, I'm so glad you jumped in here because this is something I want to start playing with again. Unfortunately, I need to rebuild the 30 meter loop. I want to do that. And I thought about building one just for 15. I got 2 additional caps here. I need a good 15 meter antenna. Have you ever, well, let me ask you, have you ever used one of those on 15 meters over?
No, to be honest with you, I'm not much of a 15 meter kind of a guy. 17 through 40 is what this antenna covers. 40 meters, a little bit of 80 meters on my G5 RV. And in the van, I'm able to operate 40 meters through 10 meters, and I find myself on 20 meters and 17 meters most of the time.
Yeah, very good. Foot slipped off. Very good. Okay, Roy, I got a boogie. The wife just came down. Lunch is ready, and then I'm going to have to scoot to Rutland. Got to go get pellets to feed the beast. Going up to get 25 bags of pellets, and I got to hit the post office before they close it too. So go up and grab some lunch. Great QSO. I actually recorded this QSO. I know that people will be very interested in this Magloop discussion. So I appreciate you taking the time there, Roy. I hope you stay warm. And thanks for answering or coming back to my CQ. KG8EK. Got it right this time, right? I'll let you tie it off, brother. 7-3 from not so snowy, but cool Southwest Vermont. Kilo 1 Golf Mike, over.
Fine business, Steve. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. And yeah, my QRZ page has my email. If you want to get back in touch, shoot me an email. And yeah, hopefully we can get some Magloops on the air in the spring and work some experiments there. 73s, be safe, be warm, KG80K clear.
Yeah, pleasure this side. You too. We'll catch you soon, hopefully. K1GMM, thank you.
I used to have a 40-meter inside half-wave. Anyway, this thing runs 80 through 10 meters, and with the tuner, I can get all the work bands and everything. So, I don't know. The worst SWR is probably on 30 meters, although that's not bad. And anyway, 80 through 10, and no antenna tuner other than what's in the radio. Go ahead.
Wow. So K1GMM. So do you ever run power? Do you have an amplifier or you just run it barefoot? Go ahead.
So far, just barefoot. I have one of these little window feed-through things that's only supposed to handle about 100 or 150 watts. So that feeds through one of the windows here in the basement. And I've thought about getting an amplifier, and if I did, I'd probably have to replace that or do something else, drill a hole in the wall or whatever to run a coax out. But, I've been retired here now about 6 years, and been a ham since I was a kid back in the 60s. So, been off of the air for about 30 or 35 years and got back on before I was going to retire about 6 or 7 years ago. And, kind of lazy, living in HOA, can't put up anything real sophisticated or noticeable. So, came up with a way to put this, end-fed half-wave up. And so far, nobody's complained. This is N5 Victor Fox. Go ahead.
Yeah, K1GMM. Wow, that's good for you. Great retirement hobby, isn't it? Yeah, that's neat. How do you do like on, let's say, 10 meters? How does that thing work on 10 meters? 10 meters today was kind of a bust. But I wasn't on that much. I was kind of waiting for it to get cracking, and it never really did up here, at least in my QTH. But I'm kind of curious, how does that thing do on 10? Does it do pretty good? And where do you get to? Over?
Yeah, it does pretty good. Like today, I was tuning around, and South America was coming in with the gray line pretty good. I don't know, about an hour or two ago, and I still hear a few signals. I was just up there maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago, and there's a few signals still coming in. And the SWR is not that great on 10 meters, but it does work. I've made a lot of contacts up there, especially when the bands opened up. It does real well on 17 meters and 15 meters. I've done real well on those bands. And of course, 20 meters done real well. Worked Australia, New Zealand, of course, Europe, South Africa, South America, quite often. It's pretty much, I guess, with the inverted L, it seems to be more or less omnidirectional, although it does seem to favor, like, going up toward Ohio from here, which is kind of, I guess, northwest within the United States, at least on 40 meters. 75 meters, it's just pretty much omnidirectional. It doesn't matter. And do hear a little bit of DX. It's not that great of a DX antenna on 80 meters, though. Probably needs more vertical height for that, but does real good for the Skywave and stuff, working, within 400 miles and that kind of thing. But that's, a lazy man's antenna. Don't have to do a lot of work to put it up or take it down, and don't have to have a fancy antenna tuner or anything like that. And very, very, very happy with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Wow. This is why I love these types of QSOs, and I hope you don't mind me interrogating you. I love antennas. That's why I got in the hobby. From what I understand, I ran one inverted L. It was, what was it? I think it was 100. No, it was an 80 meter inverted L. But what I did was I put a 49-to-1 relay switchable. So it was a direct feed on 80 meters. And a 49-to-1 gave me multiple bands. It really wasn't an inverted L, but it was a good antenna on 80. Really good. And then I ran a 160 meter quarter wave, right? And I did the same thing. And I had, what was it? I had, I believe, 12 1/8 wave radials down on, for 80 meters. Right. So they were about 32 feet long, something like that. I think I remember I tuned it and they were a little long, so I had to cut them back to 32 feet. And on 160, that was awesome. It was about 130, man, dude, I can't remember, 136 feet of wire. Went up 65 feet and then kind of sloped up to about 105 feet. And to be honest with you, that was the only aerial I've had up, including Moxons and everything else, that I actually heard VK on 80 meters on. It was just had a great time. That was on 80, and the first contact I ever made on that was on 160 on 5 watts on FTA in Italy. I've been tempted to do something like that again, but after hearing your story, I'm almost like, well, shoot, man, I don't even know if I should bother putting radials down underneath it. It's a pain in the arse, and I don't have the room. N5VF K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM N5VF. Yeah, I on this 80 meter half wave, MFET half wave, I actually went out and played with it one day when the weather was nice, and put down just about 2 or 3 60-foot radials. That's all I had that I could put out without running into the neighbor's yard. And I put down 2 or 3 60-foot radials just laying on the ground, and hooked it up as a quarter wave inverted L for 160 meters. And I was actually able to make a few contacts on it. Like I talked to a couple of guys down in North Carolina and some guys up in Pennsylvania. And it actually worked on 160, but I never came up with a way to switch it between the 49-to-1 and the quarter wave configuration for 160, because you don't need the coupler for that. I've seen some articles of guys that have done that, and I don't know how successful it's been. The problem is because of the NFET half wave has the 2,500 ohm impedance, the higher impedance at the feed point, anything else you connect to it couples to it very easily. So if I hook up something for feeding the wire as a quarter wave on 160, you have to have a switch like you described, or a relay or something. And any kind of capacitive coupling would screw up the MFET half-wave because of this high impedance. So I never tried to do anything remotely like that, although I've seen articles where guys built something and use these big honking relays and stuff that have a big gap on the contacts, so you don't get as much capacitive coupling. And I guess it works. I know when I configured it manually, it worked just fine. But I like the convenience of just changing the band on the radio and not worried about it. And, the antenna just goes right with me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear you. Leaving a little bit of pause if anybody wants to join in. This is not exclusive. These relays I use, sounds like you're really not interested, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But I have a few of them here. I get them off of Amazon. They're 80 amp, which is way overkill. You do not need an 80 amp relay, even for legal limit. But I use these. They're like, I think they're $14. They're a double pole, double throw relay. So I drive them actually right off the power supply, off a low amperage output off the front of the power supply, with a little. I make up these little switches, switch boxes, and I have a whole row of them here. I'm looking at them right now, which none of them are being used anymore. But what I did is I wired it so that I could switch either to a quarter wave on 160 and basically worked as an interrupt. And then it would switch in the 49 to 1 when I wanted, the multiband operation. And it's pretty easy, but it did work. It did work pretty freaking good. I had a ball with that thing. But that being said, I had it off to the side of the 40. I had a 2-element 40-meter loop up, which I've had up since 2016, and those just got wrecked a little over a week ago. And I decided I'm not going to put them back up, hence the BKW I have up right now. And I had that up. It was too close. And man, I'll tell you what, that 40-meter array coupled to that thing, when I had that switched into the 49 to 1, it almost didn't even matter. It screwed that array up something wicked. And it was off to the, let's see. So it would fire northeast or southwest, and it was off on the side, kind of kitty corner. I would say probably 40 or 50 feet away, and it messed that array up something wicked. Skewed the pattern, coupled to it, and screwed the whole thing up. And that was a crackerjack of an antenna. Took the amplifier completely out of the equation. And so, eventually I took it down there. Go ahead, K1GMM.
Oh yeah, I guess that's an advantage I have here. I don't have room for more than one antenna. But when you put up multiple antennas like that, you're looking at your separation and whatnot, you can get some interactions just like you described. Hey, if you don't mind, give me the part number. I would like to. One of these days I might play with that. But what do I search for on Amazon for that relay? Go ahead.
Okay, give me a second there, Gary. Okay. First of all, first question is, let me put your call sign. Oh, I can just click this button here. Duh. So let me click this, and you do have an email address. So what I'll do is I'll scour that up. It's been a few years since I bought these. They're very robust. and they will take a huge, you'll never have to sweat it. The only issue with them is sealing them because they are not sealed. So what I do is I put them in a box and basically seal off the box, because what ends up happening is little bugs, little tiny spiders, if there is any crack anywhere, they will get in there, and they'll, I would say once every, 3 months, I've got to open it up and spray the whole thing out with electronics cleaner. Kills all the spiders. No matter how hard I try, I can't get it sealed totally. If the wind blows and you got coax running out of it, right? If that moves even a little bit and you get a little opening in there, they will get in there and they get between the contacts, and then you'll get a bad contact. But it's easy to fix. It's a little bit of maintenance. So yeah, let me see if I can scour that up, and I'll send you an email while we're chatting over.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I know what you mean. I've had to take my 49-to-1 coupler apart a couple of times. I leave it out there pretty much all the time now, and there's always something getting in it, some kind of little creature or ants or whatever. And every now and then the thing will, the SWR start rising for one reason or another, and have to go out there and clean the thing up. And even at one point, due to some, I guess, wind, I had the thing strapped to a tree limb and part of a tree trunk, and it kind of moves around some, obviously, in the wind. And I don't know if the thing was defective from the factory or whatever. We had to take it apart and resolder some of the connections inside the coupler, and got it back working again. But overall, these antennas are just, for as simple as they are, they just seem to work really great for not having to put a lot of work into them. And I think the secret to it is the 49-to-1 coupler that helps you in-feed it at the high impedance point, and that eliminates the need for a very sophisticated ground system as well. Anyway, back to you there, Steve. K1GMM, N5 Victor Fox.
Okay, I got it. I actually found it. There are other ones. Look to see, because you don't need any. I had a friend of mine, I'm too stupid to figure it out, but he did the calculations on, let's say, a kilowatt and how much amperage, would be what you'd see at the relay. And he said that is 80 amps is way overkill. I think 10 amps is adequate, even for like a kilowatt. So I don't remember. So let me plug this in here. You're going to get an email with this relay. They've been very good relays, I have to say. And I'll put that in on the next go so I can concentrate. Let's see. Yeah, you need to run, what do you call it? You need a reversible switch. So what I do is I set up reversible switches, which are all driven off the power supply, and then the feed lines go out to the relay. So I have it set in normally closed, which I call the default position, so that, this is all layman's, you know what I'm talking about. So if you spend most of your time, right, on the 49-to-1, set that up on the switch so that it's normally closed. And then when you flip the switch, it'll flip the relay over to, let's say, a direct feed, right? A quarter-wave direct feed. That's how I did it. Over.
Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So that would be how I would configure it. Is normally it would be in the 49-to-1 configuration, and then apply power to do 160. Because I'll operate, obviously, 160 nearly as much as I would the 80 through 10 meters. And, the other issue I had to battle was getting some ground radios out there because I definitely would need them on the quarter wave 160 configuration. And I was surprised when I just laid out. I think I only had like two 60-foot radios that I laid down, just lay them out on the ground temporarily when I did that. And I was surprised that how well that worked for just a few radios. So a few more radios and it would have been a great antenna. K1 GMM and 5VF.
Yeah, K1 GMM. Okay. Okay, that email went. Let me know if you're at the computer. Let me know you got it. And I'm looking at it right now. I purchased 5 of them. Yeah, they're $16. $16. If you can immobilize the coax, you can use what I call service entrance putty. They come with covers, but I mean, the openings are big, to sneak the coax in and stuff like that, and a control line, a signal line, and then the power, right? The signal line is the power. So you'd have a double pole, double throw, 2 lines. One goes to direct, one goes to 49-to-1, and then you have your signal lines coming in. And the openings are big, so... See, I was never... The only way I could figure out how to do this is to use... You have to immobilize the coax so that it doesn't move, right? So the only way I figured out how to do this is to use like cutting board, punch holes through the cutting board and chamfer the holes. So the coax goes through one hole, back up through another hole, and zip tie it down so it can't move. And then you can smash some service entrance putty into the openings around the coax and you can seal it off. See, I was too lazy to do that. So the minute the wind would blow, it would kind of tweak the coax and it would open up a little crack, and that's how the bugs get in. Over.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. And I have seen, I don't know if it was on YouTube or I think it was YouTube or somewhere, where somebody built something similar to what you're describing, so you could switch between 49-to-1 and quarter wave on the wire antenna. And I'll have to see if I can find that again. When I get the weather gets a little better and I get a little more energetic, it may be something I want to get out there and play with. But may try to build it, just put it all in a like a Tupperware box or something where I can seal it up with that, and then just hook up the coax to it, either through a feed through or just put a coax connector on the box somehow. But anyway, that'd be fun. Yeah, I see it. I got the email and looking at the relay right now. Go ahead.
K1 GMM. Oh, good. It defaulted to all capital letters, so I wasn't sure if that would actually go or not. You mentioned something earlier. So that inverted L, I'm all about antennas, man. I love antennas. So bear with me, Gary. I hope you don't mind. I've heard that an inverted L, the main lobe, the strongest lobe of radiation is off the direction the elbow is pointed, right? And you mentioned the leg runs to the east, correct? And then you also mentioned that Ohio, it seems to favor Ohio area, which makes sense to me. So that may prove the point. That's what I'm kind of curious about, if that's what I heard is correct. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's on 40 meters. It seems to do that, and I don't know why that is. If that's the antenna configuration, or the fact that we do have some mountains kind of due west here where I am, that may screw up some of the directly west. Like I can get to Texas pretty well, but like California and Oregon, I don't tend to get very many contacts that way. And and I think at my takeoff angle and with the combination of the mountains out west of me, that pretty much takes out some parts of the country for me, as well as overseas. Like, I have never made a contact with like Japan or anything in that part of the world, in the Far East. And I have heard guys talking to guys out there, and I can't even hear who they're talking to. So that's probably one characteristic of the either the loads or the fact that we've got some mountains that are blocking the signals that would be at the right angle to get there. But yeah, the configuration I got it right now, it goes vertical about 35 feet, and then it goes horizontal to the east about 50 feet or so, maybe, and then it takes another right angle to the north and goes, whatever that is, 30 feet or 40 feet, to make up the 120 foot length of the antenna. So that probably screws up my loads quite a bit as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I'm surprised. I was going to ask you if you get Japan, because that orientation makes sense, right? To get into Japan, I don't know, Indonesia maybe, but well, welcome to my world is all I can say. I have worked VK. You know, it's funny because I used to work VK on 11 meters once a week. I'd go up on the mountain. I ran a little 11-meter Moxon, and I used to talk to these guys, John and Wayne. They'd be down on the beach with their ATVs and stuff in Adelaide, Australia. I've worked more exotic DX on 11 meters than I have on as a ham. I know it sounds crazy, right? But height is might, baby. You know, I get up 2,100 feet in the clear. Hell yeah. Gloves come off, man. It is gangbusters up there. You don't need any power up there. If you're running, I used to run a little Moxon rectangle. And down here in the hole, I'm in a very deep hole. So the only time I've, so deep that it's literally, the mountain behind the house is literally like 4 feet shy of 4,000 feet. And it's about 60 plus degrees elevation angle to go over the top of it. That's on the west side. And less than a quarter mile across the street is 3,000 foot Baker Peak in the Appalachians. So it's pretty horrid. And I've seen 20 dB of attenuation in this valley, depending on the band and where the stations are coming from. The reason why I know that is because I check the propagation here, and then I'll run up the mountain and run a textbook ground plane, and literally signals are like 15 to 20 dB stronger up there. Crazy, right? Yeah, the only time I've worked VK was on 40 meters when I had the 2-element loops up, and I had to throw some serious snot to get in there. Over.
Okay, well, that's maybe not as it's not as bad here, but I'm kind of in a hole here as well. We're in a fairly flat area that's kind of low, and when there's a ridge here, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles west of where I am, and I can get up on that ridge and look down, and I'm like above the roof of my house by quite a bit. So I think where I am now, I'm kind of in a hole as far as going west, and that probably affects me quite a bit. And it could work good. I think it works good to Ohio because it's a higher takeoff angle, probably in the horizontal sections that get me to Ohio and that part of the country fairly well. And Pennsylvania booms in here like crazy. So I'm getting skywave with that, and that's what makes us work. But anyway, I'm like you. I love playing with antennas. I've tried, verticals and loops and inverted V's, inverted L, and NVEDs, different configurations, and kind of settled on this one because it's just so easy to put up and take down if I ever have any issues with the HOA here. So, and it does everything I need. I get to play on all the bands. It may not be perfect. It's not like a beam or anything like that, but it gets me out there and make some good contacts all over the world with the thing. Well, anyway, I need to get off here. I need to go check with XYL what we're doing for dinner. But it's been fun there, Steve. Yeah, I love this stuff. And it's a great hobby, especially for somebody like me who's retired. Anyway, I'll turn it back to you for your follow there, K1GMM and 5 Victor Fox.
Yeah, I love your call, by the way. Just really quick, I'll let you go. Great stuff. Thanks for taking the time. And forgive me for the interrogation, but I love that stuff. Information is power. Knowledge is power, right? N5VF. I've been looking at 2x1s and 1x2s. Good luck is all I can say. I've been thinking about changing my call for a while now. So I don't know. Anyways, we'll let you go. 7-3. And hope to catch you again. Next time we chat, you can give me some more reports. Tell me what you've been working and stuff like that. Because I love that stuff, Gary. We'll see you later. Thanks for coming back to the call, and thanks for a nice chat. N5VF, K1GMM, over.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, I love this stuff too. So I don't consider it an interrogation at all. Just fun. And I snagged my 1x2 call back. I guess it's been 5 years ago now. Right after I retired, I said, "Yeah, I'm going to go get the extra and then start looking for 1x2 calls." And stumbled on this one. And I was originally licensed in the 5-call sign area, and I've always had that. So I tried to stick with the 5-call sign just for nostalgia purposes. Well, anyway, 73 is good evening. Enjoyed it, and we'll look for you down the line. Steve, K1GMM, and 5 Victor 5. Clear?
Yeah, 7-3, Gary. Pleasure this side, buddy. We'll catch you soon, hopefully. This is K1GMM, Southwest Vermont, listening for any other calls.
VE3BIG.
Uh-oh. What's going on there, Caesar? How are you, man?
Hey, Steve, not too bad. Just listening in there, just tuning around. I heard a big, nice, clean, strong signal there. Looked on the fan adapter on the small little radio here, and I heard you in there. So, great signal. Good signal coming into north of Toronto here in Woodbridge. You're 20 over, my friend. Nice job. How you doing? Go ahead.
Wow, yeah, nice to hear you. Nice to catch you. Finally, I know it's been kind of crazy. I've been wanting to touch base with you and find out. You've been a busy boy. It sounds like. So you can tell me what you've been up to. I don't know what you're running. I'm still doing some evaluation on the ZS6BKW. So I'm trying to figure out how it's working. It seems to be working okay on this band. I've got some issues on 17 meters. I was on there today, and she was pretty pissy. The SWR, I was getting some reflected power. There's no choke or ground on it yet, so I've got to rectify that this week, and I think that should maybe settle it down. But anyways, yeah, tell me what you've been up to. It's been a long time. It's been hit and miss. Go ahead, K1GMM.
Yeah, no problem, Steve. Well, I mean, I've been on and off. I think we spoke, I'm not sure if we spoke this year. I don't know. I think we might have kind of just said quick hello and goodbye. I think you were on your way out and I just got in, but we're talking with some of the boys there on 63. But, yeah, and been, just been working. I'm still working away. And doing a little bit of light renos around the house, and squeezing in some radio time in between. Yeah, that's about it. Not much else going on. We have been getting a little bit of snow and cold weather in the last week or so,
We got a little bit of snow today. We're expecting some more tomorrow. But then we're back into the rain. So, I mean, crazy winter this year. Been more on the mild, wet side with rain. And in our business, I mean, we're outdoors. We're on site. We're moving earth and digging foundations. So it doesn't work out too well, Steve. It gets pretty slick out there with the wet, mild temperatures. And we're just kind of spinning our wheels in the mud there. And we got a lot done in the last week or so with the cold temperatures actually helped us. So that's about it. We just been working away and kind of taking care of things around the house. Not much change in the shack. Still running the same antennas, and I'm on a rotatable dipole right now. And running the ICOM 7300 just with the Heil ICM microphone. Just brought this microphone. I had it in the closet. Forgot all about it, and I said, let me plug it into the 7300 here, and see how it works out. So, been playing around with this little radio for the last couple of days. You're sounding good. I'm not sure. I know you got a few different radios there, but you're always sounding good. Got a good strong signal. That antenna seems to be doing a great job for you. I mean, you're just pounding in here. K1 GMM VE3 VIG.
Drag my feet a little bit. I have to learn, Caesar. I got to drag my feet. Oh, so you're on the ICOM. I didn't even know you had an ICOM. So I was going to ask you what. I thought you have an Anon too, right? Or something. You have some form of a full-blown SCR, I think, if my memory serves me right. So what's the total, what are the rigs that you have? And yeah, what am I doing? I'm pushing exactly 300 on the button out of this thing, and I am on the Sun. So the only rigs I have right now are the Sun and the 7300. And I use the 7300 for like digital modes, data modes, whatever you want to call it, and remoting. So I have a remote setup on that if I'm sitting up in the living room. And I'm too lazy to walk down the stairs. You know me. I am a lazy SOB. Anyways, yeah. What do you got for radios? Give me an update, because I think some things have changed, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time. Go ahead.
First of all, you're sounding great on the Sun SDR. Great sounding. You got that thing dialed in nicely for sure. And yeah, I do have an Anon. I have the 7000 DLE Mark II, and I got that when a couple of years at least now, and at least 2 years. I think you were helping me out anyway when I first got it. Vito passed me on to you, if you recall, and you helped me set it up there as far as you can. And then I kind of played around with it for a little while, and I think I got it working pretty good. I think I got the hang of it now with the Theta software and all that jazz with the updates, and so I'm still running that. That's a keeper. I think I'm going to keep that one. That one was working really well. Well, I got a few different radios here, Steve. I mean, I got a Kenwood TS990. That's the one of my main radios in the shack here. I have an ICOM 7800, another big box radio here. Very good radio. Nice older radio, but very well built, and got a good receive. Very quiet receiver on it. I really love playing with that one. And what else? I got the 101D up to date. That's my newest radio. That's another nice radio. I mean, I just play around with different radios, Steve. I play with the different radio. Every 2 or 3 days, I switch everything up and play with the different rigs. Yeah, I got a 705 that I use that with remote. I was on that today, actually, in the vehicle running remote, just 10 watts running into the shack out the 40-meter dipole. I was doing well. I was getting some nice reports with 10 watts, so playing around with that. And, a couple of amplifiers. I just picked up a newer amplifier, an ACOM 2100, which I'm on right now. And I do have an ACOM 1200 Sierra, the solid state. I use that for kind of remote and low drive. So that's pretty well the rundown here, Steve. That's what's going on here. It's all stuff that I've had. The newest radio, I think, would be the Yaesu, the FTDX 101. So back to you, K1 GMM VE3 DIG.
VE3 DIG, the digger, K1 GMM. Okay, here's a question for you. Now that I got you, finally got somebody who has multiple ICOMs and the new Yaesu. So you said the receive on the 7800 is nice and quiet. I think you said, whatever. You know how I roll. I don't know. I have a very sensitive ear, and I'm telling you, Caesar, I am seriously eyeballing that 101. I've been eyeballing that for over a year. A year ago, this past Christmas, I've been talking about it with my friends, and I'm like, I'm going to get me one of those because I just want to check it out. How would you compare? Let's say you take both receivers, put them side by side, right? I'm not talking about the TX side. I don't care about that right now. But the front end, if you were to just take the RF gain and roll them back so that they're tolerable, right? You're not getting slaughtered with white noise. How would you classify and you know me, you know why I'm asking this question. How would you classify the 101 compared to, let's say, the 7800? Is it similar? Is it very different? Now, before you answer that, I have a friend in the UK that has an FTDX 3000 and an FTDX 10. And there's something about the receive, the type of audio that comes through on receive on those transceivers, the ones he has, that me personally, I really, really like. So, that being said, are they totally different or are they similar? Do you prefer one over the other? Go ahead.
Okay, well, that's a good question. I've compared the 101 with all the radios. The Kenwood TS990. I've compared it to the ICOM 7800 and the Anon, the 7000. That basically my comparison was, I was very interested in seeing the difference between the 7000 and the 101. Because they're the more newer technology. But to answer your question, as far as comparing it to the 7800, the 7800's it's probably maybe almost 20 years old, if not. So the technology is a lot older. I know the Yaesu's got the hybrid type radios, SDR and more conventional type filtering, but the 101 is superior. I'll tell you right now, it's very, very quiet. The way they set up their receive, it's just to move that needle, to move the meter I mean, it's sitting sitting at zero most of the time. I mean, and then when you compare it to other rigs, the needles that's sitting around, let's say 2 or 3, and that one's still sitting at 0. So I mean, right there, it's got a different type of receiver. Now, I mean, the 7800. I mean, I can work DX with that one, and I can work DX with the 101. No problem. The 7800 will pull in the weak stations, but you have to do a little bit of tinkering. You got to pull them in. You got to use the functions, the options you have on the radio as far as the filtering and that stuff. But with the 101, I mean, it's already set up to pull in the weak stations. I mean, you can go a little further. It's got the digital noise reduction, the DNR, which works amazing. Now I would compare it with the Anon with the NR2. So you get an idea what the DNR, how it functions. So it's got different settings on it that you can increase the filtering on the DNR, or you got different settings up and down on it to filter it more or open it up. So I mean, right out of the box, I mean, the 101 has got a more superior receiver, and I would compare it close to the Anon, but not quite there yet. So go ahead, Steve.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'll take that and put that in the file cabinet. The reason why I ask you, right, is I've said this before, right? So I had an old TS430S, right? And I could hear everything. Now, it could be the antennas. Don't ask. I don't know. I could hear everything on the TS430S that I could hear on the 7300. So I'm painting you a picture right now. And I know people are probably like, you're full of crap. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, because I have a video which shows it. And but what I'm talking about is the quality. It's not the quality, because that's subjective. Everybody prefers like some people like a very sharp front end. Other people like a very warm and fuzzy front end. See, that's me. I love that warm and fuzzy tone. And I used to sit there and listen to that. I had the 7300 sitting right next to it. And I would never listen on the 7300. I listened on the 430, the old Kenwood, because it had this classic Kenwood, this very warm and fuzzy tone. You know how it's like a nice warm blanket? I know it sounds ridiculous, right? But that's why I asked you about the Yaesu, because I've heard Dave's Yaesu. He puts a direct feed from the transceiver, and I'm telling you, that 3000 and the FTDX10, he has those things locked down, dude. They are like dead silent. I can't believe it, how quiet those things go. And they're not even a 101, but it's the type of receive that is so nice to listen to. You kind of get what I'm saying, K1GMM.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's very quiet. I mean, even the FTDX10, I believe, is right up there as far as receivers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you follow any of the Sherwood comparisons or reports there, I don't follow it, but just from what people talk about, and I just know for myself what I got here and how I compare it to the other radios. I have them all side by side. I can flip a switch and turn. I can operate every radio on my rack here, and no problem. Compare them very quickly. And the 101 is very quiet. It's very, very quiet. It's got like in between that softness and the sharp receive that you were talking about in the that I hear also in 7300. Now that I've been playing around with this, I really see how aggressive it comes out at you, the audio. But I know what you're saying about the Kenwood. I have the Kenwood TS990, and that sort of has that warm and fuzzy receive that you've been talking about. I really enjoy operating the 990. The 990's got some great, you can get some great audio out of it right out of the box. It's clean signal, and for me, the receive on it is right up there, and it's that in between soft type audio which has got body. So I mean there is a difference on all the radios. And as far as the 7800, probably my oldest radio here, it's very quiet also, and it's got a different type of receive than the newer ICOMs. It's in between also, and that doesn't come out at you like with that digital type audio. You know what I'm saying? The SDR type. It's more conventional, more along that clear. You get some nice full body out of the receiver out of that 7800 also. I mean, every radio's got its own characteristics there, Steve. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to say it the best I can there. K1 GMM DE3DIG.
K1 GMM. No, I do. I get it. And then it comes down to, personal preference. Everybody's got a different ear. Everybody's got, of course, it depends on what they're doing, what you're doing, right? Do you work mostly pileups, DX, contesting? Well, yeah, probably an FTDX 5000 is in the, to be honest with you, it's in the cards, right? Talk power, just bombastic, tremendous control of the front end. I don't know. It's such an individual thing. And like I always say, if we were all the same, I mean, what fun would that be? There'd be one manufacturer that would make radios for everybody, and everybody else would go out of business, right? So, and everybody's into all their different stuff. So, I was going to ask you, so you're on an ACOM. Did you say it was a 2100? So what's your favorite amplifier so far? Because I'm buy something and stick with it until I die. So I'm on the AL80A right now, and which is much cleaner than the PW1. The PW1 is a filthy animal. So I don't run that on anything like 17 and up, because the AL80A doesn't handle the work bands, doesn't do the work bands, doesn't do 10 meters. So I'll be on the AL80A 17 and up. I'm sorry, the PW1 on 17 and up. And usually 20 and down, I'll be on the AL80A, just because it produces a much cleaner signal, So I was curious as to how many amplifiers you got and what your favorite one is. And I'm not familiar with the ACOM 2100, so I'll look that up right now. Go ahead.
Okay, very good. Well, I haven't had too many amplifiers. I went from a Kenwood, a TL922. That was my first amplifier that I ever got, and I've had that for 15 years or more, maybe almost 20 years with the Kenwood. So that one, I only had that one, and I really liked the way it was built. And, I didn't have anything else to compare it to. I thought that was a great amplifier. But then I moved on to the ACOM amplifiers after that. I have an ACOM 1000 that I was just, up to last week. I was basically using that as my tube amplifier, which is a kilowatt. It's got a single tube in it, GU74 there, and so that was my main amplifier. And then I picked up a solid state, the ACOM 1200 low drive LD MOS amplifier, which I use for remote operation. So I have certain radios that run with the solid state, and certain radios that I run with the tube amplifiers. So this is a fairly new amplifier, the 2100. Now comparing it to the 1000, this thing here, it's got a lot more juice. With I'm running what I got here, 40 watt. I think I'm running over a kilowatt here. So it's just kind of coasting along. Now with the 1000, same wattage, I would probably be getting maybe 700 watts or something like that. Anyway, so you got a lot more headroom. I don't usually run my amplifiers more than at this time, 1100, 1200 maybe. This thing can do probably 1.5 legal limit and more. But I just got it to give me a little bit of headroom, and the occasion was there to pick it up. So, and the ACOM, that's why I went with the ACOM. It's just, for me, it's a great amplifier. I've had really good experience with them, no issues. I know a lot of people have had issues with them, but for me, it's been working bang on. They're very quiet. They're very easy to tune. Very quick tuning. Under 10 seconds, I can change bands with the manual tune and load here. It's got the like a little selector that you gauge, and you center that, and you're ready to go. So, I don't have any other experience with amplifiers, Steve. I haven't had any alphas. I haven't had any Ameritrons. I haven't had any other amplifiers. So, from what I can see, I'm going to stick with the ACOMs. K1GMM VE3DIG.
K1GMM. So, boy, that 2100 is a beast. That's a beast. So is that one of those amplifiers that, what's the rated key down for that? Like if you were going to use that on AM, can you use that on AM with, let's say, 200 watt carrier all day long if you wanted to?
That's a good question. I don't do the AM, but from what I understand, it's the key down. All day, no problem. This one here is, I think, one of their higher end amplifiers. I think they have an ACOM 2000 Alpha, which I was looking for one of those over the 2100, just for the reason that they're automatic band switching, just like the solid state amplifier. So, but it's got a 2-tube GU74s in there. Pretty well the same. I use a single. I think they use a single tube in this one, a bigger tube, CX for a CX1000, and those ones they use 2 or 800 tubes, smaller ones, but they put out the same power, I think, and just to get the automatic band switching on that. I was looking for that one, but they're hard to find second hand and in really good shape. Go ahead.
Yeah. The ACOM 1000, I almost bought one of those. Great amplifier. I've heard they're very robust as long as you don't abuse them. I have a feeling a lot of people do stupid stuff with them. Stupid is as stupid does. Stupid does. I don't know. How does that saying go? If you flat top the living crap out of an amplifier, eventually you're going to blow it up. That's just the way it works. Not to mention you're going to splatter all over the place. So, I've seen some ACOM 1000s in for repair, but my gut tells me, and based upon people I've talked to, if you're reasonable, they're a very robust amplifier, and they'll last you a long time. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I mean, it's going to take a while to kill that amplifier. I mean, I don't really, use my amplifiers hard. Like the 1000, I rarely brought it up to a kilowatt. I don't know. I just, I figured if, 700-800 watts is a good sweet spot, and you don't kill it. You're not running it full throttle, and it's going to last. And it's still here. I mean, I was going to sell it, but I think I'm just going to keep it, for a rainy day, just in case, something does happen or whatever. I have an amplifier I can just kind of switch in, and it's been a great performer. So that's why I went with this brand. I mean, there's an occasion for this amplifier here. Gives you a little bit more power, but I'm not going to abuse it. I'm not going to run it hard. I mean, right now, like I said, I'm only running it, a kilowatt maybe, a little bit more, just peaking, just kind of loafing around here. I mean, the temperature is not even moving. I mean, it's unbelievable, this thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, I mean, I almost bought, I know, crazy, right? I almost bought an ACOM 2000. I think those are the ones, if I'm not, I don't know much about amplifiers. I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to this stuff. But the ACOM 2000 I was looking at regarding, when I was kind of playing with AM and stuff, and holy crap. I think if I'm not mistaken, those are the ones kind of like an alpha. You can friggin' a sustained key down for like, I don't know, 24 hours straight at full tilt boogie with a carrier. I think though, was it the 2000? I think it's a 2000. And I just worked a guy. This was, I would say in the past week to 2 weeks. He was running a 2000. I can't remember the rig he was on. Holy Mother Mary and Joseph, dude. That is a clean amplifier. He was smoking it in here. And he wasn't running in a non with pure signal or anything. And that freaking thing was railroad tracks. I was like, really? I was kind of surprised. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's, I love that amplifier. Even for the fact that you got the remote controller, you can put the main unit anywhere. I mean, you can put it in another room. I mean, these things are quiet anyway, but just to save space. I mean, it's great. I was looking for one of those, and I'm just looking at the specifications on that. It says 1500 watt CET. Continuous carrier, no mode limit. So I mean, they're beasts. They're a very good amplifier, and I think they're right up there with the other big boys. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I remember when I saw that. I thought, holy crap! Yeah, like 100% duty cycle, full key down, extended at like legal limit. That's freaking mental. And I would never do that, but good grief. Yeah, it's pretty robust. See, that's a nice part about the PW1. I have a love-hate relationship with this thing. It has a remote head, but the amplifier, I kid you not, Caesar, I first dropped it on the floor. Well, I didn't drop it. I put it on the floor to the right in the station. I lit that thing up, and I'm telling you right now, that thing sounds like an A10 Warthog spooling up on the tarmac. It is so freaking loud. I was like, hell no, I'm not running that in here. I mean, this shack is dead silent. The AL80A is the only thing I can hear, and that even bugs me. So I took it and I put it in the other room, pulled out the head unit, and snaked it through the wall. And so I run that in the other room, and it's just the only thing I can hear barely is the computer running. That's it. That's all I hear in the shack. Dude, you can't run that in the same room with you. If you heard that, you'd be like, that ain't happening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there. I mean, that's one thing, I mean, some of those amplifiers, you got quite a bit of power coming from some of these amplifiers, but the fans are so loud. I mean, they're so big and loud. And I mean, I was doing a comparison with Vito. I was on there the other day, I think yesterday or the day before. I just got this amplifier in line, and I was asking him if he hears any background noise because I was on the 7300, and I have the condenser, this ICM. As you know, it's a condenser microphone, so it picks up probably a lot more than a dynamic. And I was asking him if there was any background noise he was picking up on me. He couldn't detect anything. I was going to ask you the same thing. I mean, I'm in the same situation now, so I'm running the same app with the condenser. If it's noticeable on the air, go ahead.
No, I just kicked out the DAP system really quick while you were talking, and I put it direct, and I don't hear anything, Caesar. It is nothing. I can't hear anything running in the background. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's good. I mean, that was the first thing I was more concerned about, especially with condenser microphones.
Oh boy.
The noise in the room. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't hear much in here. I mean, myself, I mean, I don't have the best of hearing, but, I don't hear anything. I was just curious, when I was setting up the 7300, I was kind of raising up the mic gain and lowering it to see if I could hear anything. I mean, I could detect a little bit as I was getting higher in the mic gain, but I didn't want to run it that high anyway. So I'm running like about 40% on the mic gain and the compression of 2. And that's it. I mean, if you don't hear anything, and I can see the ALP, it's moving pretty good, 3/4 of the way. But the compression, I mean, it's every odd time on the peaks, it's just moving slightly. I mean, hardly doesn't even move. So, I mean, I could probably increase the mic gain a little bit more to get that compression moving a touch, but I think it's okay the way it is. K1GMM, VE3DIG.
Yeah, let me bring in the mental case up there. Your partner in crime. No, that's me, Vito. I think that was Vito I heard in there. He threw his 5 cents in. I'd say 2 cents, but his cents are worth way more than 2 cents. Go ahead. If that was you, Vito, go ahead, pick it up in here with Caesar, K1GMM.
Yeah, VA3VMD. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I don't know what that problem was with that Caesar guy. How many great musicians' ears is he going to ask if we hear anything? He's got quiet audio from what I was detecting yesterday on the 7300, and my crime and partner, K1GMM, I think conclude the same. So I think you need not go any further there, Caesar. Go ahead. K2YN.
Good afternoon, Vito, and good afternoon, John, K2YN. I think I heard him in there also. Well, I think I just got the seal of approval. I needed the double seal. So I finalized the deal here. So we're gonna stick with the ICM combination with the 7300, and it's gonna stay put. Go ahead there, K2YN. John, I'm just going to bring the dog out quickly for a second. I'll be right back. VE3DIG.
V3DIG. This is K2YN in the group. Good evening. Just turning around and heard your signals and chimed in when there was an opening. I didn't hear anything. You were 10 dB over 9. And you know the thing is, key down without talking and look at your watt meter. If she's reading 0, if she's just slightly tickling, you're not going to hear that. Oh, but anyway, he's got to take care of the dogs, and that's probably immediate, so I'll just keep this going around the loop here. Cold down here as usual. Last few days at least. Gonna warm up in a few days, though. With rain. And we're running the Anon tonight with the 10-tech amp. That's it. Not a lot to report. K2YN. Yeah, go ahead, Steve. Pick them up.
Hey, John, Steve, Southwest Vermont, Kilo 1 Golf, Mike. And yeah, good to hear you. You're just about bumping 20 over up here. And sounding choice as always. You're not getting that brutal cold that they're getting like in the Midwest all the way down to like Alabama, are you? I was talking to a friend of mine down in Alabama, I don't know, a couple days ago, and I'll tell you what, it was colder down there than it was up here in Vermont. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Things have sort of turned around for a bit. Yeah, we got a zoomed with cold temperatures for 2.5 days. The days would open up. 2 days ago, opened up at 12 degrees at 7 a.m. and peaked out at, I think, 32 or 33. And we're in South Carolina. You know, that's much lower than the average. And next day was 15 degrees, and we actually got to 42. Over.
Go ahead and rub salt in the open wound. 42. Boy, my detonator PTT is being a dink. She's kicking. All right, going over the foot pedal. Hold on. All right, there we go. Mash it, baby. What's going on here? I got all kinds of problems, Vito. Yeah, I'm going to have to rebuild. I got to put a new switch in my little handheld detonator there. I've been having people complain. They're like, yeah, you're cutting in and out. And the freaking, it's nice because I don't have to put my feet on the floor. I put my feet up on the desk, kick back in the chair, and I hold the PTT in my hand. Most people are like, why don't you just run Vox? It's because I'm usually snorting, coughing, and farting all the time. So I really don't want that going over the air. VA3 VMD, K1GMM.
Oh, just wonderful news I really didn't need to hear. Hey, John, K2IN, long time no speak. Good to hear you, John. I was speaking to your partner in crime, Beth, on 17 meters the other morning, and she was booming in on my vertical on 17, so I was asking how things were. So good to hear you, John. It's been a while. And I know what I wanted to tell you, Steve, before I throw it to John. We were talking about cloning drives and having identical equipment. Well, lo and behold, I was actually able to get one of my clone drives from computer A and actually just stick it in computer B. And we were talking about the licensing issues. The system came up. But it did want me to reactivate the license, which I did not go ahead and do because I'll only do that in the event that I have a complete computer failure on computer number 1. So it looks like I'm able to recover to a different computer using a clone drive from computer 1 and using it on a different computer yet hardware-like. So I think last time we spoke, I said I was having issues with that, but I got it working. Anyway, John, good evening. I'll throw it over to you. K2IN, VA3 VMD. Yeah, okay, Vito. Very good. I followed what you were saying there. Kept me on the edge of my seat. I'm glad you could handle that maneuver and get the data that you need for the operations. So anyway, let me see something here. Oh yeah, I'm tuned up, I guess.
I was checking my output. Anyway, what do we got going here? We had an electronics problem that I fixed in the amp. This amp is only about 3 weeks old to me, maybe almost a month, not quite. But I really enjoyed it. I really love this amp. And it's a Tentex Centurion. So, had a bias problem. And I had to fix the bias circuit. So, no big deal. It's 7 components. Most of them are not active, resistances and passive devices. So it could only really end up being one of 2 devices. That's a pretty easy troubleshoot. You do a junction check, and usually you find what died and go from there. Let's see. Here was a transistor, by the way. Yeah. That was open. So it went, the amp would go down to 0 bias, which is turned on all the time. And it would get hot. And I would turn it off way before it got into trouble. Anyway. Audio, you were talking some audio, I think. But I've been sticking with pretty much what I've got. I haven't been making any alterations. Hey, let's see. Wonder if Caesar's back with the dog there, Steve. K2, whoa, excuse me. This is K2Y and Caesar. You there? Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, John, how old is that Tentec? Has that got some legs on it? Or is it, I didn't even know Tentec made amplifiers. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It's a beauty. It's easy to work on. I got introduced to her when I took out the circuit board with the regulator on it, and or the bias circuit. So it's a 2010. I think, from the best information I can get, they closed up shop around 2015. And they'd been making this amp for about 15 or 20 years at least. Probably 30. But this was a 2010 with a Peter Dahl Hypersil transformer, a nice beefy one. It had new electrolytic caps in the filter board and 2 new tubes with the box, the serial numbers, everything, it's cool. 2 new RF parts of the 3500 ZGs. New. And I got the amp for $12.50 minutes. Over.
Wow. There you go. What's the maximum output comfortable on that thing? Over.
Oh, 17. What I'm popping there, that 322, 1468. Hello, radio. Let's try to modulate a low. So anyway, hello, radio. Hello, radio. I had said around 15. Over.
Wow, yeah, that's got some snort to it. Robust. Yeah, go ahead. Vito, you popped in there. Go ahead. K1GMM.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I just got to run upstairs.
Okay, we'll leave the light on for you.
What are you looking for you? I'll tell you, the amp, it just works perfectly. The bias circuit is out on the edge, 2 screws, and it comes out after you get the cover off. Everything is mounted in a way that a technician would have done it, engineered it. So you don't go nuts working on it. Over.
Yeah, so... it's funny. I have a friend, he's kind of an electronics freak. And, he is an electronics freak. Wrote circuitry for nuclear submarines, work for GE. And he's looked at, I'm not going to say which amp it was, and he said the design of the amplifier is actually it's actually really good. But the execution leaves a bit to be desired. So, it's nice to have an amplifier that has a good design to it and it's well thought out, where the execution is actually very good. You know what I mean? Because that doesn't happen all the time. Over.
Yeah, I work on amps quite a bit, or I have in the past, and I've kept my alpha going. It's an 8410. It's just I got a bad arc on the plate tune cap when I got an unexpected intermittent on the feed line out to the switch. And I was modulating at the time, so I was hitting like 1500, 1400, somewhere around there. And bang, it opened up. Well, that's always interesting. I got an arc on the plate cap, and I have to have it rebuilt. I was going to buy a new, but you can't get it from Alpha. He doesn't really exist. He just bought the name as far as I'm concerned. And he's not going to exist. I think the guy needs medication because I've heard 2 rumors already that he's going to try to get over $8,000 for an 8410. I said, yeah, you try doing that in the ham community and see if you get away with it. Nobody's going to buy it, over.
No, that's, well, I was going to say something and I'm not going to say it. I'll leave that alone. Who was it that popped back in there? Get you in here. Was that you? Caesar, you back? Super Digger, K1GMM.
Yeah, the Undertaker. That's Vito's name for me, the Undertaker. I'm back. Got the dog out, got him back in, and just got a few more minutes before dinner. So I'm just listening along here and listening to all the great signals. Everybody's just booming in here. I'm not sure. Just listening along. I'm not sure. I'll send it over to Vito. I didn't get quite a chance to say hello to him. He kind of popped in, and then I had to pop out. So Vito, VA3VMD, the Godfather, VE3DIG.
Yeah, I think Vito had to run upstairs or downstairs, one or the other, Caesar.
Okay. So anyway, so I guess it's you and John. How you doing, John? I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. I had to run out. But sounding good over here, my friend. How are you?
Very good. Yeah, we're, well, like I always say, no news is good news. So physically, we're all the same and nothing's getting worse. And I love it. It's been that way for 8 years. So had a little disc problem in my lower back. So anyway, all is good that way. Weather real cold, but that's okay. I used to live in northern New Jersey where, near New York. Oh man, out in the west. Get a couple feet of snow sometimes, and it would go below 0. But, so this isn't so bad. I'll tell you, 3 or 4 days ago when it hit 12 degrees, it was windy, 15 mile an hour, not a major blow, but it makes 15 degrees feel like 0 or below. Caesar, yeah, I was super chill, freeze-dried. That was about 7 in the morning. Again, we have dogs here. I had to take them out. But, came right back in. Actually, the dog led the charge to the door to get back in the house. He goes, I weed, I pooped, I'm out of here. Over to you, Steve, K2YN.
Yeah, speaking of, my dog had a complete meltdown today because I left without him. Usually I take him everywhere with me. I had to go up and get some pellets, but I got home and oh my gosh, it's like he hasn't seen me in 10 years. I don't know if your dogs are like that, John. Ridiculous. I'm like, come on, man. Really? I just saw you like an hour ago. He doesn't destroy anything though, He just goes lays on the bed, and Lisa's working in the office, so I got home. She's like, yeah, I hear him whimper every once in a while, but that's about it. He's such a freaking baby, pansy ass. Anyways, I got to run upstairs. I got to do dinner. I just looked at the clock, and Lisa's holding dinner for me. I know she is. Usually we eat by like, I don't know, 6:30, and it's like, was it 7:20? Usually she stomps on the floor, so I don't know what's going on. Let me run up there and find out what's happening. John, good to hear you. Steaming in here as always. Good grief, dude. Go ahead, Caesar. I'll leave you with it and tell Vito, send him my regards. Give him a slap up the side of the head with a dirty, rotten fish. How's that? Grab a fish off the bank of the river and slap him in the face with it. There you go, Vito Bandito. The Godfather. Put a fish head in his bed. No horse's head, just a fish head. Go ahead, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm assuming I'll be gone for the rest of the evening, but we'll see. I may be back down. K1GMM.
Okay there, my friend Steve. You crack me up. Your little sayings there are incredible. Incredible. Good to hear you on as usual, and nice little chat this afternoon as far as, radio talk, I guess, and equipment and amplifiers. So, very good topic, that we had, and it was a nice little chat with you, my friend. Have yourself a good evening, a good dinner, and we'll talk to you again soon. Over to you, Mr. John, K2IN, VE3DIG.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Hey. Was that Machiavelli? Over? Okay. And keep your enemies closer, too. Yeah. It's Machiavellian. Machiavelli put that in a book called The Prince. 1469, somewhere around then. See you, Steve. You take care, buddy. Nice to hook up with you. And, of course, the great time station. You're booming in here. Over to you there, Caesar. This is drag your feet. I think someone's in there. This is K2YN. I guess not.
I heard somebody in there, but I guess kind of moved along. Well, John, I'm going to have dinner in a few minutes, so we got just a few minutes. If you got time, we can just have a quick chat. I briefly heard you talking about the amplifiers. I think you got them all rectified there. I think the 8410 was down. I think you got that going. And you were talking to me about the Centuron amplifier that you recently picked up, and you're very happy with that. I also made a little purchase, acquired a new amplifier myself, John. I don't know if you were listening when I was talking to Steve earlier. I picked up a tube amplifier. It's an ACOM 2100, and that's what I'm using right now. Just kind of loafing around here, about a kilowatt, maybe a little more. That's a very nice amplifier, very quiet, very smooth. It seems like it's working well for me. Back to you, John, K2IN, VE3DIG.
VA2AH? VA3DIG. This is K2YN. Okay, Caesar. Yeah, sounds like it. Sound is a big deal to me in an amp. So I kind of, like on this amp, it's not bad. It really isn't too bad. If there was a rating system like low, medium, and high, this is on the low side of medium. And an OM 4000 would be a high. Wow, did they go? Old M-Tron, I hated that amp. Terrible to me. Was like a 727. That's high. This one is low side of medium, and I love these engineers. They used a Muckham fan, Caesar, same size as you would use in a PC. And they've made breakthroughs on fans for PCs in the last 15 years. This was made 14 years ago. So I investigated the Be Quiet series and a few others, and I found a fan that'll fit in the exact space, flows 15% more air, 120 cubic feet per minute. The original fan does 100. So the airflow is real good. And it's 10 dB quieter, 37 dBA. The existing fan, I looked its specs up, it's 47. Over?
Yeah. I mean, they've come a long way, with the fans, that's for sure. I mean, I see a lot of people swapping out their fans for quieter fans, more, more powerful, but like you said, quieter. So, I mean, there are a lot of mods going on with different, even with the radios and the amplifiers. So, I mean, it's great. I mean, people are, trying to quiet down things without sacrificing performance. I mean, this amplifier here, I think I hear a little bit louder than the 1000. I swapped out the ACOM 1000 and put the 2100 in. Now, if I look at the back of both amplifiers, this one here obviously looks like it's a bigger unit in the back there. So, I wouldn't, I think for sure that they put a more powerful fan in the back of that for that reason. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I was asking the question earlier regarding the noise, the background noise, and I think there might be a slight louder, but not enough to detect it. I think that's the consensus. K2YN VE3DIG.
Yeah. V3 DIG. The Godfather. Yeah. I like that. Now just tell me now, Caesar, can you make me an offer I can't refuse?
No, you're mistaken there, John. Vito's the Godfather. I'm the Undertaker.
Oh, hey, I can dig that. He's my bodyguard. Okay, Vito. Yeah, he's the one with the backhoe, so he'll make you an offer you can't refuse, for sure.
Yeah, we got connections with some.
You guys work together. And then Caesar puts him under. That's right. When I go to Dayton, Caesar will be wearing he'll be wearing the security. He's got the big shoulders. He'll be wearing the black security jacket.
Yeah, I'll be riding in there with the backhoe, the excavator.
Vision now. I think yours is better. But I was just figuring he'd just dress like the Grim Reaper and bring a sight. Wow, your signal just came way up, John. Did it? Okay, great. Well, the band's shifting. Yeah, it's dark outside. Holy crap, it's like the difference between... You went from like F9 to 20 over. Oh, that's a lot more fun. I'm glad that happened.
Hey, Vito, you're supposed to call me back yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I apologize, Caesar. I got really on a ring of phone calls, one right after the other, and before I knew it, it was like frickin' 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I figured you got busy or sports or something.
No, it wasn't the sports. I just got like after you called, my son called, and then I got a call from a cousin, then I got a call from a friend, and I just couldn't get off the frickin' phone.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm on the bottom.
We're getting you to scrape the bottom and grade. That's what you're there for.
Yeah, I'm usually in the bottom in the hole there, cleaning things up.
Did K1GMM leave, or is Steve still here?
Yeah, I went. I think he was getting dinner. I think the wife was getting dinner ready for him. I got to do the same. Gonna have dinner now. Probably ready for me also. So I'll take the opportunity to say 73 guys. Pleasure talking to you guys, and maybe we'll catch you on a little bit later. Back to you, John. K2IN, DE3DIG.
VE3DIG, K2YN here. Okay, we'll let you get some chow, man. You gotta get it while it's hot. It really matters to me. We have people come over there. I'll do sometimes cooking courses. It makes that easier. But bringing it all out hot at the same time is an art form. We'll see you, buddy. Nice to talk with you, Caesar. K2YN. Good night.
Good night, 73.
Yeah, 73, Caesar. We'll catch you later. If you want to catch up, pick up where we left off, you can give me a call after your dinner if you like. But clearly up to you. Either way, no problem. 73.
Yeah, okay. I'll maybe give you a call a little later after dinner. Okay, 73, guys. I think there was another break station in there. Take care, 73.
Actually, there he is Victor Alpha 2 Kilo Hotel. I've been listening to you guys a little while, and I find that your gentlemen good memory.
Do you hear something, Vito?
And I wanted only to join in.
Yeah, somebody's out there, but they're really weak here, John.
And I won't break your
Same here.
conversation.
Sort of rambling on. Band's changing, that's all.
Show myself.
If it gets any stronger,
your conversation.
we'll probably yield to them. I don't mind
that.
that sometimes. I don't see needing any kind of a war, and if they're unreasonable. Well, remember, Vito, they have to live their life that way. So that's the curse, over.
There you go. Oh, well. Well, I was surprised to catch Beth on the other day on 17. We had a nice chat for a while. I hadn't heard from her for a while. She was booming in. And we had a good chat for about 15, 20 minutes.
Ah, that's good. That's good. I think she's probably doing fine. Last time I talked to her, she was doing a lot of stuff, so I left her to her devices. So anything unusual over with Beth? Did Jay, her husband, buy another Volkswagen?
Well, not that I know of. We kind of really didn't go down that path, but yeah, no, she was sounding good. Yeah, her audio was great. Her signal was strong, and yeah, I hadn't talked to her for quite a while, so. I told her that I hadn't really run into you too much either, but it was nice to hear you tonight, John.
Yeah. That's good, though. That's good. I tell you what, my wife just called me. I promised her I'd be up at 7:30, and look what I've done. I've been bad. Her birthday's tomorrow. I got to be a good boy. So I'll say 73, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, maybe right here. In the meantime, Vito, have a great evening. K2YN.
Yeah, okay, Johnny, I got to jump out of here too, so timing's perfect. Okay, have a good one, all right? And we'll chat soon. VA3 VMD, we're going to QRT 73.